Okay, so now today is the starting of grade 13 syllabus, right? I hope you all can remember the day when you started grade 12, right? It was fresh and you were starting A level journey without any uh, kind of idea what A level is going to be. But now you know the taste of A level. This is another new beginning, right? Okay, now I always tell it in the first class. If you are a student who think that I am in the zero level, okay, no matter what the subject is, business studies, accounting, economics, ICT, whatever it is, if you think you're a student who is in the zero level, and if you think, okay, I can't do, I am going to fail, if you think like that, guys, you still got time for what? Still got time to even get to the position of taking 3 A's, right? Okay, I'm not talking about the rankings and stuff, but definitely even to get the 3A, right? You can see starting from today, you can do that. Okay, you're not behind, you're not lacking anything. Okay, you're not a fool who don't know anything. Don't think like that about yourself. But every day when I start something, I used to give this advice. Okay, I gave this advice before 4 months for your seniors 2025 batch. They were at the rock bottom, some of them, right? So they were new to me when they joined the class for certain past paper class. So I told them the same thing, and now, alhamdulillah, they're in the level of B and C. But trust me, they were in W level for business studies. I'm talking about. So if they can do that within 4 months, you've got 1 year, not 1 year, actually 9 months. Okay, your exam is set to be on August. Okay, I hope you all know that. Your exam is set to be happen on the August, so we don't know. Anyways, but that's the news. Okay, that's the news we have got. You've got 9 months. So 9 months is of course enough time to study every lesson from the beginning. But the thing is, you did a mistake of not doing the right thing for the 1 year, right? So to correct that mistake, of course, you have to incur some cost. Maybe money as the cost, or maybe time, right? You have to do some sacrifices because you were leisurely waiting for 1 year. So that one you have to compensate now. You have to put an extra bit of hard work and study. Okay, now leave grade 12, will you? Grade 12, leave it for now. Okay, you don't know anything. Okay, my grade 13 is going to flop. Okay, so if you think like that, no. Okay, but one good thing about business studies is your grade 13 lesson has no connection with your grade 12 much, right? I would say even if you don't know grade 12, you can study grade 13. There's no issue with that. Okay, so take it as a new fresh start, right? Today, what do you all do? Take it as a new fresh start. Start studying now itself from today. Okay, correct your mistakes. From today, have a schedule and do everything. Now, whatever you learn new, learn it on that day itself and go to the other day. So continue that way. If you do like that, grade 13 will not be a headache for you later. But grade 12, what are you going to do with the grade 12? Okay, take a piece of paper, put a plan. Okay, I am confident with these lessons. Okay, write all the lessons and put a tick if you're confident with that. Put double tick if you're very confident. Put one tick if you're not very confident. So you know which prioritize and which not to prioritize much first, right? Because first lesson, second lesson, and all you have studied multiples of times, so no issues, right? You can keep it for later little bit because you have studied enough times. So just put one tick for that if you're confident with that. I'm just generally talking, right? Okay, so do like that and plan for that and study. Or maybe if you're not okay with the theory, go to a theory class, your juniors theory class, 2027. So they are in my class, I started grade chapter 4, but in other classes, they might be in chapter 3, some in chapter 4, right? So yeah, so you have to join like that. Or maybe join a revision class and do, or else do self studies. Anything is up to you. Okay, so now don't think about grade 12 and spoil grade 13. That's the first advice I would say to you. Okay, when it comes to business studies, the good news is even if you don't know grade 12, you can do grade 13. Okay, all right. So next question, how many of you all have completed syllabus? So what is the lesson you all are in your classes? So my students, of course, we have completed grade 12. What about other classes? Which lesson are you all in now? Okay, so some of y'all are in trade. Yes, unit 12. That means you have started grade 13. Okay. 11, last portion. Okay. Then, okay. All of them will actually finish and started. All the classes will actually start the grade 13 this month, right? Okay. Right. So, how many lessons are there in grade 13? Now, in grade 12, you have 11 lessons for business studies, right? How many lessons in grade 13? Okay. Good. Okay, I'll share the screen for a while. Give me a second. Okay. So syllabus is small, right? Compared to grade 12, the syllabus is small. Is that so? Units are 7, and for grade 12, units are 11. So syllabus was big, of course. And now since units are 7, this is a small chapter. Is that so? This the syllabus is small. Grade 13 syllabus is small. Do you think like that? No, actually, your grade 13 syllabus is somewhat equal to your grade 12 syllabus. Somewhat. Right? I would say I would say it's yes, it's complicated. Exactly. It's complex than grade 12. One thing is it is complex than grade 12, obviously, right? It's complicated. And the other thing is it is so much in depth, right? All are management chapters. The first five chapters are management chapters. And then you have the last two chapters are small and manageable. But the first five chapters are complex. But guys, I'm telling you, if you have got scared that grade 13 is difficult, no, it's interesting than grade 12. The lessons are big, and of course, it's interesting than grade 12. Okay, right. So, anything else you wanted to know about the class or whatever? I mean, the lessons about grade 13, whatever, before we start. Are you all okay with the grade 13 syllabus, right? Just how many lessons are there? 7. So, if you all know the order, first lesson will be business management. Okay, I'll just go through, right? Since this is an introduction class, I will give an idea on what the lessons are and what you will learn in that lesson. Things will look small, right? You'll see, I tell you. Okay, so the first lesson is business management. Business management, it's a big chapter, of course. It has 4 parts. Okay, under that, you learn about planning, organizing, leading, controlling, POLC. This is what you learn in business management. Planning, organizing, leading, controlling. Right. This part one in ALS will be get mostly the a little bit more question from grade 12, but we can't say that grade 13 will be lesser in part 1 than part 2. No, than grade 12. No. Sometimes it's equal. Sometimes maybe, let's say 30 MCQs, maybe 16 MCQs from grade 12 and 14 from grade 12. It can happen like that, but equally tested, right? Okay, so POLC. So we will separately learn what's planning. Teacher, easy, no? Planning, no. Planning itself is a big part. Okay, but not difficult, not hard. Organizing, another the biggest part among all these 4, right? Organizing. And then leading another part, controlling another part. So if you study all these 4 parts, business management chapter is done. Okay, you usually for business management chapter, I take 6 classes. But it depends on the student's knowledge level as well, right? Number 2, you have operations management. Operations management, you have 5 functions. Okay, 5 functions. Those functions, I'm not writing it right now. It will take time and it will actually, you will not have any idea about it. So I will just write 5 functions. 5 function, each and every function we will study and then that chapter is over. Okay. And then third lesson is marketing management. Some of you all like it, right? Yes. Under marketing management, you have 4 P's. Product, price, place, promotion, right? Each and everything, if we study, that chapter is over. But before everything, we have an introduction part for all chapter. In my tute, I have divided it. First part is introduction. After that, only these main parts are coming. Okay. And then the fourth you have finance, right? Because you have to study a little bit. We can't say there's a structure for this. There are certain headings for this. Okay, finance management. There are certain headings that we have to focus on. So I'm not writing all those. That is also fairly a big chapter. Okay, and then last one you have human resource management. I think nearly like 16 functions are there. And very easy, very interesting, but one that is also big. All these lessons are big, right? Very big. And then you have information system. This is some kind of a different chapter. Okay, once you study all of this you will understand this chapter. Here we learn about the management level, not management level, actually management level based on different criterias, right? Some technological things, those things only we learn here. Some IT in business studies. Okay, and then finally the last one is the business plan chapter, the smallest chapter among all of this. The smallest chapter among all of this is the business plan. This is grade 13. Okay, this is all grade 13 is, but trust me, very big. And the next thing is children, in grade 13, most of the students don't get enough paper practice because not enough time. So what you should do, whenever you do the theory of that particular part, try searching past paper question on that week itself. Let's take 1 hour, 1 hour for studying and trying questions every week. That particular part, take some questions from the past paper, do it. Take questions, do it. Okay, don't stress yourself. Just look at the past paper. Quickly put tick and stuff in the past paper itself for MCQ and filling the blanks and everything. Do it in the past paper itself. Part two, maybe just take a book and quickly write notes. Whatever you think. Don't need to be beautiful. No, if you understand the concept for now, it's enough. If you know how to answer, that's enough. So quickly do things. Don't take time to arrange and make it beautiful, highlighter, color pen. No. Take one pen, quickly do things. Okay, do like that. And 1 hour allocate for that one particular week, for that one particular section to try past papers and also to revise whatever you study. So in my class, what will we do? Okay, I'll tell you. We will study the theory, right? And then I will give you the theory mock papers. Every week, the papers will be resumed hereafter. Paper with the scheme, right? You want to check it that. So theory mock means you all know that I test the theory. Direct theory questions will be there. Just to make you all revise. What if you all don't revise past papers? Maybe at least do this paper and revise. Just to make you all revise on that week itself. Okay, and the scheme will be sent. And then you will get review papers. So I'll show you how the review papers will look like. So in theory mock papers, you all know we have MCQ questions. Really, like in one paper, you will get minimum 50 questions from that particular section which you have studied. So today, if I teach you introduction, only in introduction, 50 questions. MCQ, fill in the blanks, and minimum 30 sometimes, right? MCQ, fill in the blanks, and then answer the questions. Just direct theory questions will be given. Okay, but very good to revise. Okay. And review papers means that is something like this. I'll show you. The review paper is what I have added newly for you all. Okay. It will be something like this, right? So I'll take, now this is unit 1, right? Unit 1 of your grade 12. I'll take certain section, business definition, needs, wants and demand only. So in this paper, I will have questions like this. What is definition of business? This is to review, to make yourself review whatever you did. Just to go through, right? It will take 5 to 10 minutes for you to read. 5 minutes to read, of course. To read everything, just 5 minutes. Read. That's it. So you now review papers I won't send every week starting from this week. I'll say this month. Send it from next month onwards. That means to revise a long lost chapter. That means a chapter which you have not touched for a long time. To revise that only I'll give. So theory marks are there to revise whatever you do at present now. So why do I have to give this now itself? I'll start giving this from next month. So that means business management will be over now. Once I start operation management, I will start sending review papers for business management. So while you do operations management, you revise operations management through theory mock, and then you revise business management through review papers. And review papers will be sent for both grade 12 and 13. So far I have sent 8 review papers, right, from the grade 12. For both the grades you will get, and theory marks also, both the grades you will get. Grade 12 also I will give, grade 13 also I will give, for both the so grade for the grade 13 students, right? You will get the grade 12 papers as well as grade 13 papers. What else? What else? Yeah, after that we will have unit exams. Unit exam, usually guys, my unit exam paper is nearly 85% practical questions. Right? Practical in the sense, not calculation. It's just theory, you're testing the theory in a practical manner, like giving case studies. And I'll ask question from that. So actually the theory tested in a different way. My theory papers will be, unit papers will be like that. Because theory, direct theory is tested already. So where is the practical question now? That is in the unit paper. Right? So 85% no direct theory, only 15% direct theory questions. Apart from that, 85% theory questions only. But I will apply it into a real world scenario and I will ask. That's how that paper will be. So your critical thinking will be developed through that paper. Right? And finally, you will have term papers. Usually term papers, sometimes I will give a big paper where I will divide the papers and give. So it depends on me, my mood. Actually, I might change, include lot of questions. I can give a term paper. I will divide into two, like 3 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours paper. I'll give like that. So it depends on that. I will announce those things later. So in term paper, it will be exactly like your A-level standard, right? Exactly like your A-level standard. Questions will be exact every aspect of it. So this is my plan for grade 13. Okay, this is my plan for grade 13. And apart from this, I will do other things which I won't say because those are not sure things, right? If I get something good, I will share that. I won't say that I'm definitely going to do this because it depends on my time. So these are the things which I have included for sure. Like this is sure things. Apart from that, there is sometimes the budget is released yesterday. You all know, right? The budget for the next year. So that budget, you need to know what is happening in the budget. So the job of the economics and the business studies teacher is to do that. Actually, business studies, not everything they'll go through, but certain things are there related to business, like tax, and back and those kind of things are there, right? Those are there. So those things I will revise, including the economics part. What I do, okay, if I get a news, I will revise that news and tell, okay, this is what the news is telling. Okay, this is what the news is about. Okay, government have taken this kind of a decision. This is how the economy will be affected in a good way, bad way. I will tell those things. Those are extra things which I will do. Apart from that, some extra papers, that and this I will share later. Right? Okay. The fee will be 2,800, including the tube. Okay, you will get unit-wise tubes. So monthly or maybe every month we will start a new chapter basically in the middle or in the beginning. However, so I will be sending tubes with that itself. So no need to pay separately for the tube. Okay. So I hope the introduction is clear. Okay, are you all okay? Can you all see what is ahead of you? Leave what is behind you, right? You can focus on that. Can you see what is ahead of you now? Yes, right? Are you scared or are you ready to do this? Do you think grade 13 will be interesting? Ready. Okay, great. Do you think grade 13 is going to be interesting than grade 12? No. Why? You're afraid of it, is it? Don't get scared, right? Grade 13 is going to be interesting than grade 12. Tudes are also pretty than grade 12. Yeah. Okay. Don't get scared, right? This is easy. We can do it. Yeah, it's interesting than grade 12. Tudes are prettier than grade 12. Look at here. In my dude, I look at many things like this. So it looks interesting. So it depends on the lecture anyways. So I have taken tables and those kind of things. So that means you feel like, okay, this lesson is interesting to study. So everything I have done it this way. So this is 58 page for my tude. Sometimes if I do it the other way, it can be 60 pages, 65 pages, 70 pages. But I made it small as possible, right? It looks like this. So it's easy for you to go through. Here, I have made it interesting as possible. The more I can, I have made it that way. Yeah, anyways, as much as I can, I have done it that way. Anyways. All right. Okay, so now let's start our class. Now enough of introduction, which I love studying and so I feel it's going to exactly, yes. Management lesson is going to be great and you will love it. No, cute will be actually black and white because guys, I want for color, but for color, one page I have to pay 50 rupees, it seems. 50 to 60, some places 90 and all telling. So if I go to print this cute color means I have to charge more from you, or maybe I have to incur a loss. That's why I went with black and white. Yeah, it's very expensive to print color tubes. When seeing material itself is like exactly. I'll try next lesson. I'll try and see if I can go with color. I will go. I asked whether only to make these less papers color. Like this has color, right? Only this paper can you print in color, but they were like, no, it will be difficult, of course, right? It will be difficult for them to print only middle pages which are in color here. Okay. All right. Now let's start. Okay. This chapter's name is business management. So just take look at yourself. When you talk about management, when you say being managed, what does that mean? Now, if you will say, that person is really a organized person. You tell like that, no. That means they have managed well. Guys, if you want to have a proper life, you have to manage your life. How? Plan. First of all, you need to plan. Okay, this is what I am going to do. Okay, I'm going to become a doctor. Okay, it's impossible. Not impossible, but you all are in the different path. But I'm telling you, I'm going to become a doctor. Okay, at age 10, you have, at age, let's say 15, you decided you're going to become a doctor. So what should you do? Okay, I should do very well and score very good, at least in science in grade 12. Science and maths, right? Yeah, no, O level. Yeah, after that, I'm going to choose AL science stream and I'm going to choose best lecturers and I'm going to study very well. Okay, after that, I'm going to enter this medical college and I'm going to do. Okay, after that, you're going to you have to be a trainee doctor, that and this. You have to plan your life. Once you plan, what should you do? You have to organize. Now, to become a doctor, I don't know. I don't know, doing software engineering, doing DS work, give me a second. Okay, right? So you have to organize, right? You have to organize everything. Now, to become a doctor, you need resources, right? You need, of course, knowledgeable resources, that and this you need. No, so you have to take those resources. You have to arrange the work. Most of the things you have to do, you have to organize it. And after that, what should you do? Some leading should be there in your work. Someone should lead you for that. To become a doctor, you should at least have someone in your family who has pursued that degree, doctor, who had become a doctor, or maybe something else, right? Someone who can guide you with that. Okay, so that should be there. And then next, what is that? After that, you have to control. Finally, you have to check. Okay, you have done O level. Have I taken the expected result? Okay, I have to take A for science and A for maths, maybe, right? You have to do chemistry, those and this in the A level, right? So physics and all, definitely you should know maths, right? So have I taken the expected result? Yes, I have taken the expected result. Means what should you do? You have to go ahead with your A level, right? A level you have to choose, and then finally you have to do your A level and see what your result is. Can you, what your Z score is? Okay, what the score? Can you enter medical college or not? Finally, after you do that, you have to control. You have to compare your expected standard with your current performance, right? Your expected performance and your current performance, you have to compare. That's controlling, right? So basically, that is what controlling means, right? Okay. So do you get an idea on what is management? Okay, just give me a minute, right? Give me a minute. All right. Okay, so management means what? Okay, I'll take the whiteboard for now. Okay, I will take the whiteboard. Okay, so management has four functions. As I told you, P, O L C. Okay. So first thing, P means planning. P means what? Planning. O means what? Organizing. This is leading and this is controlling. Okay. Planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. So what happens in planning? Now, what happens in planning? What do you think happens in planning? Here, you will do two things. You will set goals. Okay. You will set the goals, whatever the goals you want to achieve. And then you will set the objectives and you will also decide what are the strategies to achieve it. Okay. So what will you do? Under planning, it's really simple. You will set goals. Okay. And you know, to achieve one goal, there are many objectives. To become a doctor is the goal. But what is the objective? The objective is to take good result in O level and then A level and then do well in your medical degree. Likewise, those are the objectives, right? So in planning, you will set the goal and then you will set the objectives, whatever is required to achieve those goals, right? Objective number one, and achieve one goal, that can be two or three or many objectives, right? So in planning, what do? You set the goals and you set the objectives. Now you know the goal and you know the objective. Is that over? No. Once you know the goal and objective, you should know how to achieve it. Now you know the goal and you know the objectives. Now you should know how to achieve it. Okay. So for that only, here, after you set the goals and objectives, you also should decide the required strategies to achieve that. How are you going to achieve those goals and how are you going to achieve those objectives? So you have to decide the required strategies. This is what you do under planning. Basically, what do? You set the goals and you set the objectives, okay? And you will decide the required strategies. So are you all clear with goal? Maybe you got a basic idea about planning, right? This planning is always related to the future. Do you plan for your past? No. Do you plan for your present? Actually, no. Your present actions will align with whatever you have planned for the future, right? So plan is something related to the future. Okay, plans are prepared for the future, right? So planning is the process where you set the goals and objectives with the required strategies to achieve them. So most of the planning activities are related to the future. And in the plan, you come up with a document, okay? You come up with a document. That document is called the plan. After finally you plan, you come up with a document. That document is known as the plan. So this is planning. I didn't say the definition of business management yet. I will tell it, okay? So this is what planning means, where you set goals and the objectives and also the strategies to achieve them. And finally, you will come up with a plan. Okay? Right. Now, next one, organizing. What organizing means? I am just going through these words so that definition will be easier for you, right? Organizing is where you have to allocate three things. Okay, you have to allocate the work, you have to allocate the resources, and you have to allocate the authority. Okay, now allocate what? Why? Okay, so in order to achieve these goals, what do you need? What do you think you need? If you want to achieve these goals, what do you need? You mainly need resources. If you want to achieve these goals and objectives, you need resources. So what will you do in organizing? Okay, organizing, what will you do? You will actually, just give me a minute. you will allocate the work, you will allocate the resources and authority. Three things. These are keywords. Okay. For now, just listen. It will make sense a little while after, right? Organizing what will happen. Organizing what will happen. You will allocate three things. What will you allocate? Resources, and you will allocate the work, and then you will allocate the authorities. Okay. Resources, work, and the authorities. Among whom? To whom are you giving resources? To whom are you giving the work? To whom are you giving the authority? First of all, what is authority actually? Authority means it is the right to make decision. Okay. Right to make decisions. For now, remember these things later. These things will come in the chapter. Okay. Authority means the right to make decision. Now, to whom should you give the resource, the work, the authority? To whom should you give? Yes. Among whom? Among the organizational members. You have to give these work, resources, and authorities among the organizational members. Okay. The members in your business. You have to allocate this among the organizational members so that they can use this to achieve the goals and objectives. Of course, to achieve goals and objectives, you need resources. So that resources should be used by the organizational members to achieve it. And you have to give some work for them to do. And you have to give some right for them to make decisions. So you have to give all of this, right? All these three things are keywords, guys. Remember, all these three things are keywords. Resources, work, and authorities. You have to allocate the resources, you have to allocate the work, and you have to allocate the authorities among the organizational members. Then only they can achieve the goals and objectives in a efficient and effective manner. Now these words, efficient and effective, are two words which are important. We will study now. Now those grade 12, what do? You write this to fill the answer, no? No, efficiently and effectively has different meanings. Okay, we will study that right after today. Okay, so organization members have to give this so that they will achieve the goals and objectives efficiently and effectively. Okay, now after that you have the other function which is leading. Now what is leading? Okay, first step, you planned everything. You set the goals, you set the objectives, and also you decided what are the required strategies to achieve them. Yes, and in organizing, what did you do? You allocated the work, you allocated the resources and authorities among the organizational members so that they can achieve the goals and objectives, right? And in leading, now these members should be led. No, you have to lead them. Now you have, let's say in class, in school, they will have, yes, exactly, guiding the members. Very good. In school, you will have a monitor. Why do you have a monitor? You are there, right? Why do you have a monitor? To lead you, to guide you, to control you, right? Prefects are there. Why do you have a teacher, first of all? To guide you. So leading is the process where you can influence the organizational members. You should be able to influence them. Whenever you say, they should listen. Whatever you say, you should be able to control them. So it is the process of influencing the organizational members and guiding them to achieve the goals and objectives. Okay, so when you're influencing them and when you're guiding them, there are three different things you should do. Okay, first thing is you have to communicate with them. Okay, communication should be there, and then you have to motivate them. Now, this is just the introduction. All of this in detail we will study later, right? This is just the introduction. Motivation should be there, and then you have to guide them through leadership. So these are three things you will study under leading actually. Okay, so communication should be there, motivation should be there, leadership should be there. So by these things, by all of these, what should you do? By all of these, you will be able to influence them. You will be able to influence the members through all of these three things. Okay, That is what we call as leading. Yes, which is mostly tested in final paper. Both equally tested, Salma. Is that clear? So that is leading. Okay. And finally, you have controlling. What is controlling? Now, these are introduction, right? Controlling is where now after you achieve the goals, you are checking whether the goals and objectives are achieved as expected or not. You will compare your expected standard with your present current standard. Have you achieved it the way you expected it to achieve? So that's the thing. You will check that in the controlling. After finally achieving everything, yes, you're seeing whether the planned activity have been taken place properly or not. Like for example, let's say you want to sell 10 cars, okay, but how many you finally you have sold, you have organized, you have lead everything is done. Finally you will check how many cars you have really sold. Let's say you sold 12 cars, so it's a good indication. Let's say you sold 8 cars, okay, you have to check, you have to compare. Okay, 2 cars shortage, I was planning to sell 10 but I only was able to sell 8. So what happened? Why is that shortage? How can you control that? How can you correct that later? So that is what you do in controlling. Okay, so that is what in total we call as management. Okay, now I'll come to you. Here, management is the process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling the resources of the business to achieve the goals and objectives efficiently and effectively within a dynamic business environment. Okay, what does dynamic business environment mean? What is the word dynamic means? What does dynamic business environment means? Now you know what is planning. Okay, now guys, the whiteboard one, you can take a screenshot and draw it in your extra book, right? If you want, but the same thing is here. I have given in writing. Okay, the same thing in full writing I have given below. Okay. What is dynamic business environment? Not healthy. Okay, not healthy. Dynamic means large and complex. Okay. Exactly, changing business environment will always change. Now the environment where our father and grandfather conducted their business was different. That was so traditional, but now lot of technological involvement is there, right? So business environment is changing. It always changes, it doesn't remain the same. Okay, so in a dynamic business environment only, the business should manage everything. It should plan, organize, lead, and control the resources it has to achieve its goal and objective efficiently and effectively. That is within a business dynamic business environment. So one this year it can be like this, maybe in 5 years the environment will be different, so you should go ahead with that. So what happened to Nokia, guys? Nokia was once a successful business, right? Now what happened now? The CEO cried in an interview saying, "We didn't do anything wrong, but we don't know why we failed." Why do you think Nokia failed? It didn't actually it didn't maintain its place in the industry, right? It was the leading one earlier. Nokia, tan, you know, right? We all know phone means Nokia, right? So what happened to that? It didn't upgrade, of course. Lack of exactly, lack of diversification. There are many reasons. Lack of diversification, lack of marketing, and of course new inventions, of course innovation, lack of innovation. New inventions of smartphones were there, so Nokia couldn't keep up to it, so it was left out, right? So dynamic business environment is always dynamic. You should change according to it. Okay, look at here, I have given that later in the tune. Dynamic business environment means the internal and external environments that are constantly subjected to change in various situations. In not only external, internal should also change. Now those days, how did your grandfathers maintain accounts? In papers, right? In books. But how does your brother do it now? In computer, in Excel sheet, or maybe some Zoho, those kind of accounting softwares are there. Through that, no? So ACPAC, right? So now that is different. Internal environment also will change. So you also, as a business, you should change according to that. You have to upgrade. Okay. So in a dynamic business environment only, management should be done in a proper way. Management won't be same 100 years back and now. It's different. Now next 5 years, it's going to be something else. You see, marketing is at peak now. Why businesses are growing? Marketing. Marketing is at peak. If you don't grow, if you don't do marketing, you won't see a growth. Actually, that is because that's how the world is going now. Marketing should be done. It has a very high scope. That's why many people are doing marketing degrees and all. You understand? Yeah. Okay. So that is what we say as business manager. So this is the definition for management. It is the process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling the resources of the business to achieve the goals and objectives efficiently and effectively in a dynamic business environment. These are keywords, guys. You know what are keywords? This planning, organizing, okay, leading, controlling, resources, right? Goals, actually everything, to be honest. You have to mention all of these goals and objectives efficiently, effectively, and then dynamic. Basically, this whole thing you should know. Okay, everything here is a keyword, expected words. Okay, if you don't write something, they might cut marks. Okay, yes, this is the definition. Okay, all right. So there are definitions given by different people. James A.F. Stone, Robert Kreitner, Mary Parker Follett. Okay, so these are the people who had given some definitions for business management. So even if you write this, you get marks in exam, but this is a general definition. But in exam, how will they test this? They might give this in MCQ, and then they can give the names of all these three and extra two people and ask who is the person who said this. Or maybe they can give yeah, actually important listen, right? This is how they will test. They can give this in your part 2, okay, the definition, and they can say, according to James A.F. Toner, can you explain what does management means? So you have to explain using this. So you have to say the process of planning, organizing, leading, controlling of organizational members of or using and of using all other organizational resources to achieve stated organizational goals. So actually same as the general definition. So basically you tell, okay, planning should be done. Give a brief explanation for planning. Organizing brief, leading brief, controlling brief, give an explanation. After that, dynamic business environment, give a small explanation. So that's how you have to explain. Now, whatever I explained, you can apply that to these sayings as explanation. They have said the same thing, but in a little words they have omitted. So this person didn't tell about dynamic business environment, but Robert Kreitner had told about dynamic business environment, right? So this management is the art of getting work done for others, is a highly tested one. Mary Parker Follett. So it's asked who had told this. They will ask like that. Or in part 2, they in 2018 paper they have asked this question. Explain this. So this was a very good question, and answer was something which is really mesmerizing. We will do that later. We will look at those things later, right? Because no, a bit difficult. No, this no, not difficult, not difficult. You get confused, but don't get confused. Explain whatever you know. That is what they have told here. That's it. Don't tell what they are telling. Don't tell anything about them. Just explain whatever you know about the management. That's it. Okay, same thing they have told in different wordings. You just have to explain whatever however I explained it to you right now in the class. Okay, is that clear until this point? So you know what is management now. Definition, everything is clear? Yes, great. Great. All right. So that part is done. Now here I already explained functions. I was using the whiteboard. I was saying what is planning, right? Planning is a process where you set goals and you set the objectives. And not only that, you will decide the required strategies, okay, to achieve them. And you know the most of the planning activities are in the future. Okay, and in planning, you prepare a document called plan. That is what I have told here. So see here an example. Sri Lanka decided, okay, to generate. Okay, there's a small typing mistake. Sri Lanka decided to generate 50% of electricity from renewable sources by 2020. Renewable means like solar power, right? Those are renewable, right? Now, whatever we do now, even hydropower is kind of renewable, right? So those kind of things, by renewable sources, Sri Lanka is planning to generate 50% of the electricity. And of course, they are moving towards it. You can see a lot of solar panels everywhere, right? They're giving some benefits for installing solar panels, right? So it's easy nowadays. So it's increasing. You can see energy conservation is increasing, and by 2030, they are expecting to generate 50% of the electricity from renewable sources. Okay, right. And organizing is what? Organizing, I already told you, it is about allocating work, it is about allocating the resources and authorities among the whom organizational members. Why? To achieve the goals and objectives. That is what organizing means. Okay. So here, Sri Lanka, let's say in Sri Lanka, the plan was what? To generate 50% of the electricity through renewable sources in the future, 2030. Now here, to achieve that, they need a task. They need a team, a dedicated task force, so that they can coordinate the renewable energy project. Okay, so there should be a dedicated task force as well. You get it? So that is organizing, or you have to have a group of people who will work for that. You have to give them the required resources, give them some authority, so then they will achieve the goals. That is organizing. And next you have leading. Leading is where I told you it's about influencing the organizational members and you're guiding them to achieve the goals and objective. How should you guide them? Through motivation, leadership, and communication. I already explained this earlier today, right? Okay. After that, here see you have to motivate them. You have to motivate the team. You have to tell them, you have to highlight the environmental benefits of renewable energy. You tell that task force, okay, this is the importance of renewable energy. This is how it will, this is the good thing which will happen to our country. Do like this, do like that. We will give you this much of pay. We will give you this much of benefit. You do this, you motivate them. So they do well. That task force will do well. And after that, controlling. In the controlling, what will you do? You will ensure whether the goals and objectives are achieved as expected or not. Okay, whether small spelling mistake as it's typing. I do voice typing, right? Okay. Whether the goals and objectives are achieved as expected or not. So here see progress reviews are conducted annually to ensure 50% renewable energy target is on track. So after 2030, every year they are checking they are doing a progress review. They are checking whether annually is it actually 50% of energy generated from renewable sources or not. You keep track of that. Is your plan achieved or not? You keep a track on that. That is controlling. Okay. Right. So you know you don't know. Now you have to know this. This is highly tested. The father of management is Peter Drucker. Okay. And the father of scientific management is Frederick Winslow Taylor. Okay. What's the difference between father of management and father of scientific management? What does that mean? What's the difference between those? Management and scientific management. What are those two things now? Any idea? Father of management. Okay, now you have father of cats. Likewise, in the past, they give father for everything, right? Because they introduced that. Let's see. Yeah, actually, the question is, what is the difference between father of management and father of scientific management? Basically, this management and scientific management. What do they mean here? Okay, father, yes, exactly someone who found it. That's correct. Father of scientific management means now only finding is not enough. No, you have to apply scientific theories to that. You have to check that. You have to analyze it. Just finding. So the father of management found the planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. That's it. He did. But father of scientific management, what did he do? He applied some scientific theories to it, some scientific things to it, and he generated theories through that. He actually proved it, something like that. He analyzed it more. So he is the father of scientific management. He did more analysis. Theoretically, he presented the management. Scientifically, theoretically, he presented, but management is. So that is father of scientific management, Frederick Winslow Taylor. Okay. Imagine, guys, these people should be how intelligent they should be at that time. Of course, right now these are simple things for us now, but at that time these things were never existing. So they found something which never existed. So I always admire these people. They have done a lot of things in the past. The uh, s- uh, scientists and the historians, everyone, right? Even nowadays we have technology. They didn't have these technologies, right? They have to go through the books. They traveled a lot to gain knowledge. Today we are sitting in a class, we are sitting at home in front of a phone or a laptop studying. That's it, right? It's easy for us. Chat GPT, go put everything, take done. But them, they have to travel the world. Many scholars, they have traveled the whole world to get knowledge. Okay, so that's why, children, you have to respect your education. You have to respect education, right? God doesn't give it for everyone. God gives for everyone, but God doesn't give the ability to use it for everyone. And someone who is teaching, whether it's younger than you, older than you, right? If you're studying from them, of course you have to respect, right? So it's really bad. And guys, next thing is there's no competition in education field. I always say, right? So I always say, if you're going to teach, don't compete. Okay, don't compete with another teacher thinking I'm going to be the best teacher in this. No, being the best teacher is not the goal. It's not the goal, right? Teaching students and making them satisfied is the goal. It's not the goal to earn the highest, right? It's not something like that. So don't treat, don't. That's the thing, guys. I have my own path. That's it. I have my own path. Whatever it is, I am happy with that, right? Because, guys, develop that mindset for health, for education. I always say, don't be try to be a competitor. It won't work, and it won't give you anything good. Okay, right? So that's what I'm telling you. If you're going to be a teacher in the future, or maybe a doctor, maybe someone in the health sector where people rely only on you, there you should be for them. That's it, right? Okay. So see, management as a process, the same thing explained as a process. So management is a process. No, what do you do? Firstly, planning function. In that you establish goals and objectives and the necessary strategies. Finally, second step. What is the second? This is a process. Now, step two, organizing function, where you will allocate work, resources, and authorities among the organizational members. Third step, leading function. There you will guide the members and influence them to achieve the goals, right? Finally, controlling. Here you will check whether the goals and objectives are achieved as expected in the planning or not. So that's a process. It has steps and it goes one after the other. First of all, controlling, after that planning. No, right? It goes one after the other. That's why it's a process. So management is explained here as a process. Okay. And now in the definition, you saw some concepts, right? Dynamic business environment was one word, and I already explained you. Organization or members or institute means it's a union of people who are working together to fulfill a specific goal. All of them have a common goal, right? All of them wants to achieve that common goal. So that's an organization or an institute. And in the definition, we saw another word, goals and objective. Now these words will be repeated again and again in the chapter. That's why these are concepts. Now in your grade 12, when you're learning chapter 1, there are 11 concepts, right? What are those 11 concepts? Need, want, demand, profit, transaction, satisfaction, production, exchange, value, right? Market. These things, wasn't it repeated over and over and over again? Exactly. It was repeated again and again and again. Those are the concepts used in business studies. Likewise, these words will be hereafter used more frequently. And in the definition also it was used, right? And goals and objective means you already know what it is. Now, efficiency and effectiveness, keep it for now. It's a separate part we will study. And then you have business resources. Resources means all the inputs of the business, right? Basically, what does resources mean? The inputs in your business, right? There are many ways you can classify resources. These are the categorization. There are three categorization. First categorization, the 7 M's. These are unit 1 things, right? 7 M's, men, money, material, machine, method, market, minutes. Okay, these are the 7 M's. These are the resources according to the first categorization. Okay, and apart from that, you have concepts and customers as well. And next one, second categorization is based on the resources. You see, human resource, physical resource, financial, information, time. This is the second categorization. Third categorization is what we will learn in depth, right? Land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, time, knowledge, and information. So this is a third categorization. We have different categorizations of resources. So this is a third one. When you go to the third categorization, I have taken an example as a tailoring shop. So I've told what example for land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. These things are done already in your grade 12 first chapter. So I'm not going to go in detail. You can read this. Okay. And information, time, and knowledge. Third categorization, right? I've taken an example as tailoring shop, and then I have explained, I have given example for each and every resource mentioned in the third categorization. Okay, so that's given as a table here for your easy reference. Right. And you should know what is a process. Process means what? It's a group of activity. All these activities are connected to one another and there's a continuity in them. So management is, that's why it's a process, I told you, right? All of them, there are different activities grouped together, they're connected together. They have a continuity, one after the other it will happen. You understand? So management process have 4 functions: planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Okay. All right. Is that clear? Are you all clear until that point? Do you have any doubts? Okay. Clear. Okay. So no doubts, right? Until now, I hope you all have the PDF version of the tute. Those who don't have the tute in hand, everyone, all clear. Great. Okay. Now today we are in the introduction part, right? So we have covered some parts in the introduction. Now the remaining part to be covered today is about efficiency and effectiveness, and then why you need management, the need and importance of management, and then the decision making and problem solving process. After this, introduction is done. So next class will be planning. Okay, so today it's fully introduction. Okay, right. All right, do you need a break of 5 minutes or something, or shall I continue? I can continue. What do you all say? Shall I continue? Okay. Okay, 5 minutes break to refresh. Okay, so a small 5 minute break for you to refresh. Okay, after that, we will continue with the remaining parts. Okay. All right. So I hope you all are okay now. So let's start. Okay. Sorry. Efficiency and effectiveness. Okay, these two are very important words. But up to now, these two words were filler words for us, filling words, right? These two words were just words to fill our answer, right? Just conclude the answer with efficiently and effectively. Efficiently, effectively. But we never knew that there is a specific meaning for efficiency and there's a specific meaning for effectiveness, and this is a very highly tested part in this chapter, a very highly tested. Okay, that means basically they will ask you the difference between efficiency and effectiveness. Mostly they ask you. Okay, in many papers it is asked. Even in your, let's say you're going to do a unit paper, definitely this question will be there. If you're going to do a term exam in your school, definitely in your grade 13 first term, for sure this will be there, right? Because that much of highly tested scope this one is, efficiency and effectiveness. Okay, it's Azan. Okay, guys, I'll pause for now. Maybe I should have given a break at this moment. Okay, I'll pause for now. Once it's over, let me know. Okay, all right, guys. Efficiency and effectiveness. Okay, this is very important, right? As I told you. Now here, first of all, remember efficiency is something. Oh, efficiency is something related to your inputs, and effectiveness is something related to your outputs. Okay, efficiency is something related to your inputs. Effectiveness means something related to the output. First of all, remember like that. So basically, business management means what you have to achieve your goals and objectives, right? Right. So efficiency means you are achieving your goals and objectives. Okay, don't draw anything. Just listen. Goals and objectives at a low wastage of resource, right? Wastage of resource is very low, right? And then if you could achieve it, or else you can achieve it at a low cost. Or else if you can achieve it with low time wastage. Time is also a resource anyways. If you can achieve the goals and objectives at a low wastage of resource, at a low wastage of resource, okay, or at a low cost, or at low time wastage, then we call it as efficiency. Okay, if you can achieve your goals and objectives with a low wastage of resource, with a low cost, or with low time wastage, we call it as efficiency. So, you know, these things are your inputs, right? Resource is an input. Of course, when it comes to reducing the cost, it's an internal factor. Time is an internal factor, input, right? So these are all related to the inputs. That's why efficiency, I told it's related to inputs. Efficiency means you are achieving the goals and objectives at a low wastage of resource, at a low cost, at a low time wastage. That is what we say as efficiency. Okay, I'll tell you examples and stuff. For now, take this to the head. Okay, and I told you efficiency is related to your inputs. Yes, good. It's related to the inputs, right? Inputs has other name. We call it as resources. So efficiency is something related to your inputs, or we say it's related to your resources. Okay, inputs, or we say resources. All right. Now, who is the father of management? Okay, the question comes here. Who is the father of management? Frederick Winslow Taylor, right? Father of management. No. Then who is it? Yes, it's no. Actually, the answer is no. I will confuse you. You know, right? Yeah. So who is the father of management? The other one. Taylor is scientific. Exactly. Peter Drucker. So who is the father of management? Peter Drucker. Now this Peter Drucker has something to say about efficiency and effectiveness. Okay. Now this is a very highly tested part, right? So Peter Drucker is saying efficiency means doing things right. செய்ற வேலைய சரியா செய்றது. Efficiency means doing things right. What is he telling? Efficiency means doing things right. செய்றத சரியா செய்றது. That's efficiency. Okay. So effectiveness means, for now remember, he's telling doing the right thing. சரியான வேலையை தான் செய்றது. So you get it? Efficiency means doing things right. Okay, do the thing right. Effectiveness means do the right thing. Something like that. Okay, so Frederick Winslow is telling efficiency means, according to Frederick Winslow, according to Peter Drucker, efficiency means doing things right. Okay, that's another point. I will give all these points in writing format. For now, listen to me. Okay. Right. Now, how can you measure? Okay, efficiency, you know everything. Okay, efficiency means, okay, using low wastage of resources, low cost or low time wastage. Okay. Now, after fulfilling a goal, how can you actually measure and see whether this is efficient or not? How can you measure in terms of, now, if you want to measure weight, you use kilogram, right? If you want to measure your height, you will use inches, right? Feet, centimeters, right? But if you want to measure efficiency, what can you use? Now, see, low cost is there anyways, right? So think about the factors of efficiency. Now, what are the things? Efficiency means low wastage of resource, low cost, and low time wastage. Okay, based on this, can you tell some what things? Measuring criteria. Okay, right? Do this. Okay, if you want to measure efficiency, there are some terms. Efficiency can be measured in some terms. Okay, measured in terms of, one is high profit. If you have achieved high profit, that means you are efficient. That means if you can lower your cost, if you lower your cost, what will you achieve? If you lower your cost, you will achieve high profit, no? So, high profit is a measuring criteria for efficiency. If you have recorded high profit, that means you are efficient. Okay, what's the next one? Low time wastage. Or low time consumption, you can say. Okay. If the wastage of time is low, then also that means you can say that particular business is efficient. And the next one, high productivity. High productivity. What is productivity? Productivity means, what is productivity? Using this same amount of input, you're producing high lot of outputs. Today, let's say you use 1 unit of input and you produce one output. Tomorrow, using the same 1 unit of input, you're producing two output. So that's productivity. So that's one way of explaining productivity. So we will study more about productivity in the chapter 2 of your grade 30. Okay, that's another concept. All right. So here, if you can use the same unit of input and increase the output, it means you're high productive. You're highly productive. Your productivity has increased. If you reduce the wastage of resource, if you reduce the cost, and if you can reduce these kind of input, and if you can increase the output, then also you're productive. Or else, if you can keep the output constant but reduce the number of input, then also you're productive. You produce, let's say you wanted two input to produce one output, but you have managed and you have reduced the number of input to one, but the output is also one, but you reduce the input. That means also you're productive, no? If you could lower your cost, if you could lower the wastage of resources and time, productivity will increase because those are input. If you reduce your input and if you could increase your output, or at least if you reduce your input but keep your output constant, you have become productive. Okay, that is what productivity means. Is that clear? Now basically, let's say today you studied in 1 hour, you studied 10 pages. Tomorrow, to study 10 pages, you are only taking half an hour. So that means you have reduced your time. Time is an input, right? You reduced your time of study, but number of pages is same anyways. Or else, you can do like this. In 1 hour, you can study 20 pages. So see, input is same, output had increased. Both are productivity only. Okay. So if you have recorded high productivity, That means you are efficient. That means you are efficient. You get it? So that is another criteria to measure efficiency. And next one is lower utilization of resource. Or we say lower usage of resource. Low utilization of resources, or in other words we say low usage of resource. If you have reduced the usage of your resource, then also your product you're efficient. Why? Because you lowered your input. Actually, that means you're productive now. So these are the 4 terms you can measure efficiency in a business. If you can see there's high profit, low time wastage, high productivity, or lower utilization of resource, that means they are an efficient business. Is that clear? Until this point, is that clear? I will give an example now. Great. Others, any doubts until this point? Great. Others? Great. Okay, Shiva. Now I'll tell an example. Now you have to write, okay, first of all. Okay, let's go to effectiveness and then we will write about it so it will make sense. Okay, effectiveness. What is effectiveness now? Great. Okay. Effectiveness means here you are trying to achieve your goals and objective within the given time frame. That is effectiveness. Basically, okay, it means you're trying to achieve your goals and objectives within the time given and according to the expectation of stakeholders. What does that means? You are achieving the goals and objectives within a given time frame. You can take screenshot once after I write this, and you can write these things in your extra book. Okay, here you have notes to write. Okay, goals and objectives, you are achieving it within the given time frame. On the time, because within the given time frame you have to complete. Okay, and next one, and also and according to stakeholder expectations. According to stakeholder expectations, you have achieved your goals and objective within the time frame, and that is also according to stakeholder expectations. That is what you call as effectiveness. Okay, right. So if efficiency is connected to inputs, effectiveness is mainly connected to the output. Okay, and according to Peter Drucker, efficiency means doing the right thing. Effectiveness means doing the thing right. Okay, efficiency means doing the right thing. Do what is right. Effectiveness means do only that is right. Something like that. Doing the right. Efficiency means doing the right thing. Do the thing. Okay, doing the right thing. So sorry, do things right. Efficiency means what? Do things right. Whatever you do it right. Effectiveness means do the right thing. Whatever is right, only you do. So that is effectiveness. Okay. I'll give these notes anyways. Now, how can you measure effectiveness? In terms of what? It's always related to the output, right? So you can measure it in terms of, you can measure it in terms of customer satisfaction. It's related to output now. So once they consume that output, how satisfied are they? So if they are very well satisfied, that means you are effective, right? And according, we have given it according to their expectation and also within the given time frame. So customer satisfaction is a criteria to measure effective. Next one, you can say quality, the product quality. The quality is high. course, it's related to output. Output quality is high means customer satisfaction will be high. Of course, it's effective, no? So product quality. And what else? We can say competitiveness. If people are coming to compete with you, that means you're producing good outputs, right? So competitiveness. If your product, if your business is competitive, that means you're an effective business. That's why you are taken into the competition field. Okay. And then it is also about how well you achieve your goals and objectives. How much you have achieved within that time. So achievement of goals and objectives is another criteria. Goals and objectives. Okay. Is that clear? Is effectiveness clear? Okay. Now we will write the note here first. Great. Okay, now we will write the note. I'll take this note and put it to your tutor. Okay, I'll erase this. Okay, same thing I will give as a note anyways. I will erase this, right? If you want, take a screenshot quickly. If you want to maintain in the form of drawing, or you can keep this like this and write the remaining points like examples and stuff. It's up to you, right? So it's up to you whether you can keep this like this. And you can add the word goals and objectives are achieved below both of this. And remaining points, whichever is not given in this format, you can write. It's up to you, right? Anyways, I will erase. Okay, this is about efficiency. So there's an example. I'll teach you that example first before going to effectiveness. See here. See, Nestle company wanted to introduce two new chocolates in 2024. Okay, let's make it 2026. Oh no, 2024. 4 is better, right? At the cost of $5 million. But the actual chocolate development cost was 5.5 million. Okay. So actually the cost they planned was 5. So but the actual cost was $5.5 million. So $0.5 million in extra. So this is not an efficient, it's an inefficient business here. Why? Because their plan was 5 million, that is to reduce the cost, but the cost had increased here. If the cost increase here, it's not efficient. Efficiency means cost should reduce. You understand? So therefore, Nestle is inefficient in this case. Okay. So whatever other things I have given here, whatever is explained. And effectiveness, you see, in Japan 2024, Japan Toyota company was wanted to introduce, wanted to introduce 7 new car models to the industry, but they could only introduce 5 new models. So see the output which they expected within the given time frame they didn't achieve it. They were only able to introduce 5 models out of the 7 they planned. Right? So they are inefficient here. Output, the measurement of output, they couldn't achieve their goal here. Right? And also within the given time frame, they couldn't achieve how much ever they wanted to produce. 7 was the expected one, but they could only achieve how much? 5. You get it? So that is what effectiveness means. So effectiveness can be measured in terms of time. Within the time you couldn't fully achieve the output which you want to produce, or else you can you actually whatever the output you plan to produce you didn't produce at that time. So it's inefficient. You get it? So ineffective. So that is ineffectiveness. Okay, those are the examples. These are there. Later, once you get the tune, you can copy this up. Now comes this relationship box. Okay, very carefully analyze this. Dark yellow color, it is talking about what has been done. And here, what has been done, the correcting or incorrecting, what has been done, the correcting or incorrecting. Okay. What has been done, the correcting or incorrecting, how to do correct way, incorrect way. If you do the correcting in correct way, that means you are effective and efficient. Because what is efficiency and effectiveness? Efficiency means doing things right. If you do the correct way, if you do the thing in a correct way, you are efficient. Right? Doing things right. Effectiveness means what? Doing the right thing. If you do the correct thing, here, if you do the correct thing, you are effective. If you do it in the correct way, that means you are efficient. So correcting correct way is effective and efficient. If you do the correct thing, yeah, it is effective. But if you do it in the incorrect way, you are inefficient. You get it? So correcting in incorrect way is effective and inefficient. Next one. Doing the correct thing, doing the incorrect thing in the correct way. Incorrect is ineffective. You are doing the incorrect thing. But doing it in the correct way means you're effective, efficient. You're efficient. Or else you're doing the incorrect thing in the incorrect way. Both you are inefficient and effective together. You get it? So that's the relationship. Did you understand this one? Basically, if you know what is efficiency, effectiveness. Efficiency means doing things right. Effectiveness means doing the right thing. Doing things right, doing the right thing. So with that, you can find out this one. Yes. Yeah, sure. Without after the class, it will take some time to process, dear. So maybe half an hour or something. After that, I'll send. Okay. All right. Clear, no? Great. Here, there's a question in 2005 and 11. Explain briefly the concept of productivity and efficiency and show the relationship between them. So now you know what is efficiency. Barakallah. Walaikum salam, Zuleha. Okay. So now you know what is efficiency, right? Efficiency means what? Doing the things right. Doing things right is efficiency. They are asking what is the relationship between productivity and efficiency. You have to explain them briefly and then show the relationship. So what is efficiency? Efficiency means achieving goals and objectives at a low cost or low wastage. Productivity means the ratio between the input and output. That means for one input, how many outputs are you producing? So this is 1:5. That means one input, 5 output. 2 inputs, 7 outputs. 2:7. So the ratio between the input and output, we call it as productivity. So if you want to become a productive business, you have to reduce the input or maybe reduce the output, keep the inputs constant. For example, 2:5 is also productive only. That means here also productivity has increased. This is input, this is output, right? 2 input, 5 output. 2 input, 7 output was reduced, 5 output. That is also productivity. Or else, another one, you can say 1 input, 7 output. This is also productivity. You have reduced the input. Or else you can say 1 input, 5 output. See, reduce both. That is also productivity. You reduce both input and output. Okay. So that is also productivity. All right. So productivity has different meanings. So basically it is the ratio between the input and output of the business. So always, efficiency and productivity has a positive relationship. Now we answered the concept. We explained the concept briefly. That's done. Now we have to show the relationship. How to show the relationship? You have to say relationship na நீங்க பார்க்கணும் அவங்க ரெண்டு பேருக்கும் பாசிட்டிவா நெகட்டிவா relationship. This is positive relationship. That means when you increase your efficiency, your productivity will also increase. You do the things right. Okay, you do the things right. சரியா செஞ்சா productivity கூடும் தானே, right? If you are efficient, that means you are reducing the wastage of resources. You are reducing the cost. You are reducing the time. So that means your productivity is increasing. Now, basically, you are reducing the input. So your productivity is increasing that way. You understand? So they have a positive relationship. When the efficiency increases, productivity also increases. Efficiency means what? You're reducing your input usage, basically, right? You're doing the things right. You're doing the things right, and also you're reducing the input, low wastage of resources, those kind of things you're reducing. So that if you reduce it, efficiency will increase. If efficiency increase, basically that is what productivity means. If you reduce the input usage and still the output is same or maybe output increase, that is productivity, no? So when efficiency increases, productivity also increases. But when efficiency reduces, productivity also reduces. So both of them have a positive relationships. Are you clear or not clear? Let me know. Be frank, be honest. Let me know. If you have any doubt, please let me know. Yes, sure. I can explain again. Yes. Okay, wait. What else? Anyone else saying anything? No, all others clear. Okay, I can explain. Wait. Listen carefully. Okay. Now, what is efficiency basically? I'll go to that point. Efficiency means what? You're achieving your goals and objectives at a low cost, low time wastage, or low wastage of resource. That's efficiency. No? So when you reduce the input usage, when you reduce the wastage, what does that mean basically? That means you are becoming efficient. You're reducing the wastage of all those, or maybe utilization of all those. You're reducing that. So you are efficient. You are reducing the input here, but that way you're actually increasing the output. Now, for example, let's say if you want to produce some particular item, you use 2 unit of inputs. So if you want to know what is productivity, productivity means the ratio between input and output. Productivity means it is the ratio between input and output. For example, if you want, let's say you are going to stitch a cloth. Okay, if you want to stitch a cloth, you need 3 yards to stitch 1 frock. Or let's say you need 6 yards to stitch 2 frocks. Okay, 6 yards to stitch 2 frocks. Input, this is input. This is output. This is basically productivity. It shows the ratio between the input and output. Now today, to produce 2 frocks, what you did is, you only needed 5 yards, not 6 yards. 5 yards to produce 2 outputs. So here what had happened? Input had reduced. Input had reduced. Do you think this is productivity? Do you think this is productivity? The output is same, input had reduced. So are you productive? Today, yesterday you studied 10 pages for 1 hour. Now to study that same 10 page, you are using 30 minutes only. Have you become productive or not? Good. Yes, you have become productive. Dear, are you okay? Keep me. Do you think you have become productive now? Yesterday, to study 10 page, you used, what's the time? Time is the input now. You used 1 hour. Today, to study the 10 page, 30 minutes. Likewise, to produce the 2 frogs, yesterday you used 6 yards. Today you are using 5 yards. Or let's say 5 meter. Okay, it is easy for you. 5 meter. Okay, 6 meters yesterday, today 5 meter, but same amount of output. So here you have become productive. So do you think this is also efficiency? Do you think this is also efficiency? Have efficiency increased here? Yes, you have become productive. Productivity has increased. For sure, yes. Why? Because input, you have used low amount of input and produce the same number of output. You have become productive here. Yes, for sure. But have you become efficient here? Efficiency means what? You're reducing the lower wastage of resource, or maybe you're reducing the cost, or maybe you're reducing the time that you use to prepare that. Here you're reducing the usage of resource, right? The utilization of resource, the wastage of resource and all, you have minimized. That's why today you only needed 5 yards. So here, have your efficiency increased or not? Are you an efficient person here? Because you have reduced the wastage. Are you efficient here? Yeah, 4:30 or maybe 4:30 is my target. If we can do it before 4:30, 4:30, 4:30. Okay? Yeah, no, hit me. I hope you're okay. If not, let me know. All right. So here you have become efficient also. So here efficiency also increased. Productivity also increased. So both of them, what's the relationship? When you increase the productivity, your efficiency also increased. When you increased your efficiency, your productivity also increased. So both of y'all are having a positive relationship. Okay, dear, you're welcome. So both of y'all are having a positive relationship. Okay, so that is the relationship between efficiency and effectiveness. Now guys, here this might be confusing at the moment, right? But what you do, again take the recording, listen to it and try to comprehend it. Okay, first of all, what is it? Productivity? Okay, that means there are the ratio between the input and output. So it's one productivity. Another productivity is this, children. Using 6 inputs, you're producing 3 outputs. You have increased the output, but the input is same. You've increased the output. This is also productivity. So productivity is basically the ratio between input and output. If you can at least decrease the input using the same, keeping the output constant, if you can decrease the input, that is also efficient. That is also productivity. Or else, if you can increase your output, but by keeping your input constant, that is also productivity. Or if you increase both of them, that is also productivity. Basically, the increase in the input should be lesser than the increase in the output. That's also productive. This is grade 13 second chapter. For now, just take the idea. That's it. Even if you don't get it to that point, it's okay. At least one, if you understood, okay. If you could understand lowering the input, keeping the output constant, that is also productivity. That's enough. So that is the relay. That part only talks about the relationship between efficiency and effectiveness, productivity. Okay. So go through that again through with the recording. If you don't get it, you can let me know. I will put a voice note in the group explaining what it is, so you can listen to it over and over again. Okay. All right. So here, management process, planning. In management process, this is in your teacher's guide, right? You're planning, organizing, leading, controlling, and all of these functions are interconnected. All of them need all of these. You can't skip even at least one, you can't skip, right? So that is basically management. So what do? You take the resources, right? and you go through a process. Resources go through a process. Now here the process is the management process. Here the process is the management process. And after that, what will happen? You will get the output, fulfilling the goals and objectives. Okay. So when you are fulfilling the goals and objectives related to resources, only efficiency. You have to use your resources efficiently in order to achieve your goals and objectives. And not only that, it should also be effective. So effectiveness is something connected to the output, right? Effectiveness is something connected to the output. So this is what it's talking about. Input means that is resources. Management process means here this is the basic part. If I want to show you, this is the part actually, basic part. Input, process, output. This is the extended part below. Input means resources. Management process into this part, this circle, and output is the fulfillment of the goal, right? In output of the management process is fulfilling the goal. It's not production, it's management process. So output of it is fulfilling the goals and objectives productively and achieving it productively, right? So when you're generating the output, your management process should both be effective and efficient, right? So efficiency is something connected to the resource. When you're using the resource, you have to use it efficiently. That means with low cost, low time wastage, no resources, something like that, right? So when you're using that, you have to use it with efficiency. And finally, you can achieve your goal of fulfillment of the goals and objective, right? So that's your output. Did you understand the graph now? This picture, did you understand why this picture is there? Basic part and the extended part are given below. Clear, no? Again telling this is the basic part, this part. And this below part together with effectiveness, right? Below part, the extended part, this part. Input means it's resource. Process means it's related to this. This is process I am expanding and showing. This is management process. That's why you have planning, organizing, leading, controlling. But in chapter 1 of your grade 12, you had all the business functions, isn't it? That is business process. No, that is business process. That's why you had production, this marketing, HR management, finance management, everything you had under the process. That is business process. This is management process. So under management process, you have these four. Okay. So output of that was goods and service. Output of this is fulfillment of goals and objective. Why? Because this is managed process. All right. Are you all clear? Any doubt until this point? Okay. Now I will keep this one for a while. Management needs and importance. I will keep it for a while. Okay. And I'll go to this part. Another important, highly tested part in both part 1 and mainly in part 2. This is highly tested. In part 2, the same thing. Now, whatever I've given here, if you write the same thing, you will get marks. Okay, that's how this part is. It will be tested directly, very directly, right? And mainly in part 2, this is tested. Okay. All right. Okay, decision making and problem solving process. Now, you get a problem in your life, right? Everyone have problem, right? Sometimes we are sad. We don't know what the problem is. What do we have to do? We don't know. We are just sad. We're just crying, maybe period cramps, we don't know. Whatever, we don't know. Just crying, just sad, just scolding everyone, hitting everyone, don't know what the problem is. So someone will come and say, here, what is your problem? You have to solve your problem and take a decision on this. You can't be like this. So you will identify what's your problem. What is my problem? Okay, my problem is I too much of frustration from the people. I hate people nowadays because they are always betraying me, stabbing me. Okay, that's my problem. Identify the problem. Now you have to analyze the problem. You have to understand the gravity of your problem. Why that problem had happened? You gave space. That's why you got betrayed. You were foolishly believing them. That's why you got betrayed. You gave space for them to disrespect you. That's why you got disrespected. Okay, so this is my problem. I have analyzed my problem also. Why is that problem happening? What? How much? Okay, how much of my respect had gone? Okay, 50% gone now. Okay, how much of betrayal is this? 100% betrayal. Yes. So you're analyzing the problem, the gravity. You're understanding the gravity. Okay. After that, you have to find a solution. What are the solutions for this problem? One thing, talk less. Okay, talk less. The second thing, believe less. Third thing, be calm. Okay. Fourth thing, don't make your external environment bother you. Okay. Likewise, there are many solutions for this. So, where to go through each and every solution. Can I talk less? No, actually, I can't talk less because talking is my habit. Talking is something I'm born with, so I can't reduce talk. Even if I reduce the talk, nothing is going to change. So that's not the best option. Next thing, believe less. Okay, that is also another manufacturing defect. I am believing everything I see, even if my best friend says crow is white color, I believe it. Okay, so that's something stupidity, some foolish thing. So I should stop it. Okay, I should stop it. That's the best decision. Okay, I will evaluate that. And finally, I'll select the best decision. That is believe less. Okay, believe less is the best decision. After that, implement that decision. You have to prepare a plan to do that decision. Okay, believe less. One thing is when someone is talking, always listen with your mind and not with your ears. Open your mind and listen. Okay, please shut your heart down for a while and listen with your mind first. After that, use your heart a little. So you plan how to implement that. Okay. And then you have to prepare a plan. After that, implement it. Now your friend is coming to talk and tell a lie to you. So you're implementing it. Okay. When she is talking, you're just listening with your mind first, taking it to your mind and then putting it to your heart. Okay, not to your heart only. Sometimes we put it only to our heart and we get betrayed. No, you're implementing the decision now. You're listening with your ears and putting it into your mind first and then your heart. After that, what will happen? Your friend couldn't betray you. Okay, you understood. Your friend couldn't betray. You have to evaluate how well the solution had taken place. You can ask your friend, okay, your friend will say, I see some changes in you. You will ask, okay, tell me what are the changes? You're asking for feedback. What are the changes? You don't talk. Okay, you talk much, but nowadays you're not very believable. No, you're asking a lot of questions. No, that's a feedback. So same thing applying to the business problem now. Okay, இதுதான் விஷயம் உங்களோட same world life problems you're going to solve. Same like that, you're going to solve a business problem. Okay, come to this now. Identify the problem. That's the first step in the decision making and problem solving process. Identify the problem. First of all, the business should identify what is the existing problem. Okay, this is the existing problem. This is why I couldn't achieve the goals and objective. The example, the profit of the business has dropped in the last quarter. In the last quarter, profit had dropped. Don't know why profit had dropped. The business should identify the existing problem clearly. Okay, because of the drop in profit only, I couldn't achieve my goal. So first step done. Okay, identify the problem. Analyze the problem. You have to, okay, here you have to identify the existing problem, right? Here you have to study the problem and you have to understand the gravity of the problem. How strong that problem is. This is the problem, okay? What is the understand the gravity of the problem? This much strong this problem is, okay? To solve this, it's not easy. So you understood the problem. Okay. So you have to come up with reason. What's the reasons for the problem? And is it a relevant problem actually? You have to check all this. So you are going to check, example, you are checking all the other company profits. If all other company profit had increased and if only your profit had reduced, it's a problem in you. But in Corona time, everyone's profit reduced. So that's not a problem in you. That's an environmental problem. So when you analyzed, you understood, okay, that's a macroeconomic, macro environmental problem. I can't control it. Everyone is facing the same issue. So it's not a problem actually for you. It's not your personal problem. But here you identified that all other company profits are increasing. Only your profit is reducing. So you analyze the problem. That's the second step. Third step, generate alternative solutions. So for one problem, there can be many solutions. No, just for one problem or a solution. Now, lot of solutions will be there. So you have to identify all the available solutions for the given problem. You have to identify all the available solutions. For example, if you want to increase your profit, one solution is increase your sale, or else reduce your expense, your overhead expense, the office administration expense, those kind of overhead expenses and all, reduce it. Or else cut off the staff members. Maybe you're paying too much of salary, unnecessary staff members are there. You only needed 100 members, but you have taken 150 members and you're unnecessarily paying salary for 50 people, so that's why your profit had reduced. That's an expense. No, paying salary is an expense. So those are the solutions. You're going to cut off some staff members. Those are the solutions. After that, now you can't quickly take a decision. You have to evaluate these solutions also. You have to analyze these alternative solutions. You have to check the strengths and weaknesses of all the available solutions. Management committee will identify, okay, strength of increasing sale is this, weakness is this. Strength of reducing the overhead is this, weakness is this. Strength of reducing staff is this, weakness is this. Like this, you have to analyze all the solution. Now, this is, let's say, during COVID-19 only this problem was there. So, increasing sales is difficult. No, during COVID-19, can you increase the sales? No, people won't buy. So, overhead expense only you can minimize. Okay, overhead expense also sometimes you can't minimize because business should operate as it should operate. Those expenses you can't minimize. But you can cut off the staffs. During Corona, many people lost job, right? Many people in the world lost job, isn't it? So cut off the staff is the option. You're going to take the option. You analyzed everything and you found out strengths and weaknesses of all the solutions. Now you have to select the best solution. The most feasible solution you have to decide. Now this is another tested part. When you're selecting the best solution, what should you see? Is that solution acceptable by everyone? Is it acceptable solution? Is that solution affordable for you? Will that be affordable? For example, when you're cutting off employees, you can't say, here, you go home, like that. You can't say. You have to say, if you leave today, that's voluntary retirement scheme, right? I'll teach about that. If you leave today, I will sponsor for your degree. So you leave it. You have to check whether this decision is affordable or not. So when you're selecting a decision, first of all, you think about acceptability and then affordability and practicability. Is it practical to do? You have to check. Now, increasing sales during COVID-19 isn't practical. So you have to check that. Legality. Is it legal to do? And is there moral in that? Is there morality in the alternative which you have selected? So I usually name it as MALPA. MALP. Or you can say PALM. Okay, PALM is also fine. PALAM. Okay, so practicability, affordability, legality, acceptability, morality. So PALM is also fine. Okay. All right. So those are the things you have to consider before selecting the best alternative solution. This is tested in Unit 1 short answer questions. Acceptability, affordability, practicability, legality, and morality are the things you have to check. You have to check the most feasible solution. No. So to check whether this solution is feasible or not, you have to select the most suitable one. So to check whether it's feasible or not, you have to check all these. You have to check whether these functions are there. Okay. Now here, after checking, you understood that reduction of the staff is the best alternative. So you have selected that. Okay. Now you have selected that. Now you have to prepare a plan to implement that solution. To implement that solution, you have to have a plan. One plan is voluntary retirement scheme. That means you're asking your employees to voluntarily leave. And if they voluntarily leave, you will say, if you voluntarily leave the business today, you will get 6 months salary upfront today. We will give you 6 months salary. You take that and leave the business. Or else I will sponsor for your degree. Or maybe I will sponsor for this, that. I will give you medical insurance, something like that. They can say. Okay, so voluntary retirement scheme is you're making your staffs voluntarily retire by giving them some benefits. Okay, so that way you can get rid of excess staff. Now, so this is the plan you have chosen, voluntary retirement scheme. Okay, and after selecting the plan, implement it. After preparing the plan, implement the plan. Implement the best solution. You introduce it to everyone. Now you planned it. The voluntary retirement scheme is planned and prepared. Now introduce it to everyone. Introduce it to everyone officially. Introduce it to all the managers, employees, everyone officially do. After that, evaluation and feedback. The management should evaluate how successful that solution was. And based on that, they have to make decisions according to the feedback that they get. Is their decision successful or not? According to the feedback, they can decide. They can evaluate it based on the feedback. Okay, so that is evaluation and feedback of the decision. The total number of employees who had accepted the voluntary retirement scheme will be evaluated. You just introduce the scheme to everyone. Now you check how many of them have accepted. You want 50 people to go away. Let's say they 45 people accepted. So you have to make another 5 to accept. So that is controlling part. Now you get a feedback and then you evaluate it. Okay. Now decision making process is done. Is that clear? Do you have any doubts in this? This is a highly tested part. So in the introduction itself, there are 2 highly tested parts. Efficiency and effectiveness was one part, and this decision making is another part. Clear, no? Great. Now the last for the day, importance and the need of management. Why do you need management? What's the advantage of management? What's the importance of management? That is what we are going to see. I want you to read these points first. Okay. I will only take by 4:30 we will end the class, right? Because we have fulfilled the goal for today. The goal for today is introduction. So 6 classes now. So today introduction, next class most probably planning, and most probably I will complete it. And the class after, or else I will keep a small part for the class after and then start organizing. And organizing, I will take 2 classes. And the class after that will be organizing. And then the next class will be leading. And the other class, final class, will be leading a small part and fully controlling. That's how the classes will go. And today I am ending by 2.5 hours, but the other days it will be 3 hours class. Okay. Today, since it's a first class and we are done with this thing. Why do we make them voluntarily without just, we can't now see, we can't just remove people. No. Okay. They are working in our business. They can go now, see, when they are coming inside our business, they come with a contract. That is the employment contract. Okay. That means you can't just put them out without a notice. But let's say they did a wrong, then employee is violating the contract. So you can put them down, put them out. Okay. But if they don't do anything, you want to put them out means you can't just put them out because there's a contract. They can go and file a case on you saying, here, see, I went to their business. I don't know what wrong I did. I didn't do anything wrong, but they put me out of the business. Our contract is there. Contract is 5 years, but they are trying to put me away in 1 year. So you can go and file a case. So you can't just remove them. Unless there's a valid reason, unless the employee violates the contract, you can't just remove them. If they don't violate, you have to go with some schemes like this, voluntary retirement scheme, something like that. Got it? Great. You're welcome. Okay, so what are the important? One thing is, if you want to successfully achieve the goals and objectives in your business, you need management. Management will guide and it will coordinate all the efforts of the employees. So everyone, they are working towards the same goal. You get it? So that is one thing. For example, let's say if a school's goal is to improve student result, the management will organize teacher training programs. They have to set some study schedules, right? So then only the school will achieve a higher pass rate. So if you do management only, it will be successful. Your goals and objectives will be successfully achieved. Okay, right? So that is one thing. Next one, to utilize limited resources efficiently and effectively. Now you have resources in your business, money, material, time, right? All these are limited. No. So as in the management, a business should make sure they're using the resources wisely. They have to reduce the wastage. Effectively, they have to use, and efficiently they have to use. They have to minimize the wastage and they have to maximize the result. That is what minimize wastage is efficiency, maximizing result is the effectiveness, right? So in a business, if you have management, you can achieve the goals. You can utilize the limited resources in an efficient and effective manner. So I'll give you a small note for that second point. First point itself is easy. Okay, so yeah, here it is. Next one, to respond to dynamic business environment successfully. I told you businesses are operating in a dynamic environment which always changes, constantly changes. So as a business, you have to keep changing. What should you change? The business environment will keep changing. What will be changing? Technology, customer preference, law will change. Sometimes the law can shift, no? Today one law, tomorrow now. Today laws related to technology and all there, right? Those days it wasn't there much. So law will change. So as a if there's management only, you can quickly adapt to it. If you have proper management, you can quickly adapt to these changes. If not, you can't. For example, when customers are starting to buy everything online, as a clothing store, you have to create some website and you have to keep. Then only they will come and purchase. You understand? So you have to respond to the dynamic business environment. And next one, long-term existence of the business by facing competition successfully. You have to make sure you can do that. Okay, if you have management, if you have proper management, you can have a lot of strategies like innovation, better customer service strategies, right? So good marketing strategies. If you have these kind of strategies, you can survive for a long time in the market and you can face the competition. If you take Coca-Cola, they will regularly introduce new flavors in the advertisement. So they can face some competition from Pepsi. They can face the competition coming from Pepsi. So that's why they are surviving. Both of them are surviving in the market because they keep on innovating and, introducing something new. Okay. Next one, to face competition successfully the complex situation created due to expansion of firm. So here, when the business grows, you need many more employees. You need branches. You need a lot of production unit and all. So if you have proper management, there can be a proper coordination and a control system, right? Even if the situation is complex, because now let's say now today you're a small business, tomorrow you're expanding. So even if the situation is complex, okay, due to the expansion of resources, what will happen? You have to properly manage. Then only you can solve the problem and control the system. Okay. Um, okay. Next one, to fulfill expectation of stakeholders is what the second point is. Third last point is telling you have different stakeholders. You have employees and madam, can you please send today's part of the tutors? Yeah, sure. I can send. Okay. You can have different groups like employees, customers, owners, community, right? All of these people are there. So you do management will balance everyone's expectation. So everyone will be satisfied. You get it. For customers, you give them good quality product. You give good salary for the employees. You give good return and profit for the shareholders. Likewise, you have to maintain and satisfy everyone. You can do that if you have a proper management. You can satisfy everyone. You get it? So this is what we talk about. And next one, to face problems successfully, right? You can, if you have a proper management, you can face any problem successfully. Daily problems will be their financial problem, marketing problem, employee problem. So if you have management, you can analyze these and you can find out what is the root cause and you can give a good decision for that. You understand? And for example, let's say there's a restaurant, they face a drop in customers. So management will research the reason. If there's management only you can do. One is there's a poor service or maybe there's lesser menu choices. So because of this only, customers are not visiting, right? So you can take corrective decision. You can introduce new dishes. You can improve the staff training. You can do these things. So with this, they will improve, isn't it? With this, they will improve. So you can solve that problem. And also not only that, you have a full job to do, satisfy the society also. You have social responsibilities, so you have to fulfill that. So business is a part of the society, no? So if you have proper management, you will operate in a proper manner, ethical manner. You will contribute to the society. You will protect the environment. You will help the people. You understand? If you know Unilever, they have programs like reduce the plastic waste, and they support some community education projects and all. So this is showing that Unilever is responsible towards the society. If you have management only, you can do this. If you don't have a proper management, you can't do this. Got it? We are done with today's section. Okay. We have also balanced nearly like 38 minutes. So today it's 2.5 hours since today's the first class, and of course we studied a lot, obviously. And then today we, of course, fulfilled our expectation. Our plan is actually done. Today my plan was to finish introduction part, and I sent the PDF version to the main group and all. Today I'll send it to my class groups also. So go through that. Whatever I have sent that I will do in the trial class is done, and we also balanced some time. Okay, we had balanced some time. So every week might be we can balance some time. We will do that little by little every week. If I can complete my goal within 2.5 hours, I will complete it within 2.5 hours. But if we need more time, then I'll go to 3 hours. Okay. The thing is, it's easy to teach y'all. Y'all quickly understand. That's a good thing. Is that clear? Are y'all okay? Do y'all have any questions for the day? So that's it for today, right? If you have any questions, you can ask me. So, yeah. Okay, great. Clear. Good. Walaikum salam, Ariba. Barakallah. Clear. Alhamdulillah. Great. Good. Barakallah, Amna. Take care. Bye. Walaikum salam. It's really interesting, right? Yeah, chapter is interesting, no? Yes. You'll see more and more it goes, it will be more interesting. Got it. Everything is a great. Sarah, good. Barakallah. Dear, take care. You're welcome, Akitmi. Take care, dear. Bye. All clear, Rihma. Okay, Rihma, barakallah. Take care. Teacher, can you also share this record? Yeah, I will share it in the groups and all. Yes. Okay. Sarah, take care. Barakallah. All right, Safa, is everything okay?